So, if you want to learn and understand car audio, the best place to start is learning about enclosures. And I don't mean just learning what the difference between a ported enclosure and a first order, second order, third, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, all that stuff. Those are all important. But understanding the reason for having an enclosure to begin with, and what an enclosure as a whole does to actually affect the sound, how it affects the presentation of the sound, how it affects the phasing, how it affects the back waves, all those things. That rudimentary basic understanding is going to let you build a foundation that all of your other knowledge and experience will be able to build on top of. If you start off with the very top and you don't worry about what's underneath, you're never going to be able to truly innovate or truly understand what you're trying to accomplish. You're going to be just reproducing some work that someone else has already done. Back in the early 70s, when I was just a young fella, in my single digit age, I used to tear apart anything electronic. It didn't matter what it was, and I had to explore the insides. But one of my favorite things to do was take clock radio or the small cheap boom box, anything that had a speaker and something to give sound to it. I would take it apart and I would take the speaker out of the little cheap plastic housing that it was in and put it in something like a big cardboard box. Make a hole in the side, mount that sucker in there. I noticed right away as a young fella that same speaker inside that tiny plastic housing would sound like crap. When you took it out of that housing, it would sound even worse. But when you put it inside of a great big gigantic cardboard box, it sounded awesome. Same power source, same speaker, same power, same music, same room, same everything. The only thing that changed was the enclosure. It was a huge game-changing moment in my youth. Now, this is before I was 10 years old. So if you guys want to have a little fun and learn a little bit about enclosures and sound, just get an old piece of crap radio with a speaker in it, take it out of the enclosure, and just get some cardboard boxes, cut some holes in them, put the speaker in there, try different configurations. You'll be amazed at what you can do with just a regular old cardboard box and a little 2 or 3 inch speaker. What kind of differences this third enclosure makes. So whenever I say the enclosure is everything, it really is everything. You could take the tiniest little crappiest speaker and put it in the right enclosure and completely change the sound. Make an entirely different soundstage. Like tremendous. I mean, heck, you don't even have to get that complicated. Take your smartphone that you're listening to this video on right now, most likely, and stick it in a box. Put it inside of a box or inside of a large cup or a glass or a can, or just put it in different locations, turn it different ways, and you'll hear how the sound drastically changes. I've been at this game my whole life. I started out with, home stereo, not even really home stereo, but just crappy radios and stuff that shouldn't have worked, but for whatever reason it did. Experimenting with different ways of controlling the sound waves coming out of speakers. And I should have stayed into that a lot more than I did, but I was doing that as a kid. I was doing this before I was, 8 years old. And so having to be able to go back and learn more about this stuff just builds on that existing foundation that I created many years ago. And hopefully this information will help you guys understand where you need to go and how you need to approach getting more knowledgeable in the field of audio, acoustics, and automobiles. The field is always changing. It's always growing. There's always new things to be understood and new ways to do things we've been doing for a long time. And if you're not experimenting with new ideas, you're stagnating. And stagnation isn't good for innovation. Stagnation isn't good for industry. If you don't advance the technology and the understanding and experiment with new and innovative ways of doing things, we don't get anywhere. So, contrary to popular belief, science is not a thing that is written down. Science is not a book that is pre-recorded. Science is a process, an understanding. It's a set of rules to be able to test and verify, learn, and understand. And in the same respect, the audio industry is not a set of books, a set of procedures that have been established over time. What it truly is a desire to learn, innovate, improve, and build upon pre-existing knowledge, test, and make advancements towards something new and more efficient and better. That's my opinion. Anyway, I hope you guys found this insightful. Maybe just something to inspire you to think about what you do in your world. Even if it has nothing to do with audio or acoustics, the same rules can be applied. You don't want to spend all your time just working within the pre-established norm of what things are. You want to use that as a launching point to build upon it and make something new. Innovate, make it better, make it faster, make it more efficient, make it less expensive, make it all the things that are important, and improve it for the next person to be able to do the same. That's the idea. Anyway, guys,